G'day beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I just want to have a quick little look into a bit of the math behind Hydroverser and why it's not as great as people are trying to tell you it is right now. Now I'm a pretty big advocate of Hydroverser. I think it's a good card. It allows you to replace some of your lost damage with damage coming from your mana pool. Okay, now I'm just going to pop up in the background just a little bit of a spreadsheet that I made really quickly, so chill out. I know it's disgusting. Just on two decks. The one on the right is actually what I use for Gadget, and the one on the left is what I would use if I was using Hydroverser for Gadget. Okay, there are also some other things that I would actually swap out, which would make the Hydroverser deck weaker, because I would want to run Mind Flow and a Chronomancer's Disc to get cooldown reduction, which would actually make this deck even weaker. But if we have a look on the left hand side, so they're pretty much the Hydroverser build would be a Brawler's Ward at 6 points, so it would be a 3-point Brawler's Ward and 3 minor casts. And then I would have 4 Amp Crystals, 1 at 9 points with all cast on them. I'm not putting any mana on that one, so that's just the mana that we would be getting for free, the 90 mana. The next Amp Crystal would be 13 points, which would give us 42 power and 210 mana, because I would be putting 6 points of cast and 4 points of mana on it. The next one will be at 2 12-point Amp Crystals, which would both have 2 major casts and a greater mana. Okay, so we would end up getting, with our base mana, 1922 mana at level 15. We would have 5.3996 regen, we'd have 1494 health, and our power without using any abilities would be 332.54. Okay, now as you can see just below that, after one full rotation, which includes your ultimate, you would then be down to 1457 mana, which would mean you would be doing a hair underneath 300 power. Okay, and then the next rotation, which would not include your ultimate, the next lot do not include your ultimate at all, because we're assuming that you don't have it. Okay, you would use that, you'd go to 1142 mana, and you would then be doing 277, then you'd be doing 255, then you'd be doing 233, then you'd be doing 211. Okay, whereas the build on the right hand side is just going to be 330 power the entire way through. Okay, so the build that I do use without Hydroverser is a 6-point Brawler's Ward, same as the other one. I use 2 burst engines to get me a little bit more regen, which really could actually come off, and we could actually replace them with Staff of Adamants. That's what Staff means, because I didn't finish writing Staff of Adamant. Okay, and 2 Amp Crystals. So the 2 Amp Crystals are at 12 points. We're not running any extra mana, they're just major casts. Okay, the Staff of Adamant is the same, no extra mana, just major casts. The burst engines are just all casts, so this is just the full damage build. Okay, and we get 330 total power out of it. So as I said, if we were to actually replace the 2 burst engines with another 2 staffs, we would actually get an extra 24, I believe, power out of that, so we'd be at 354. So right there we would be doing more power than the Hydroverser build by 22 or 21.46. Okay, now down to the bottom left you see that the damage from the first rotation, the total damage from the first rotation. Now the way that I've done it is that your ultimate gets used first, and then your Seek and Destroy, and then your Sticky Bomb, and then a Speed Gate. And then the next rotation would be a Sticky Bomb, a Seek and Destroy, Speed Gate, and Sticky Bomb, Seek and Destroy, Speed Gate, so on and so forth. Okay, so the first rotation you would do a total of 3,331 damage. The next rotation you would be doing 1,535 damage. The next rotation you'd be doing 1,465 damage, 1,398 and 1,332. Okay, for a total over the 5 rotations of 9,062.7 damage, which is an average of 1,812.54 damage per rotation of all your abilities. Okay, now if we look at the opposite side, you can notice underneath the total mana we have 767 and 212. That means that after our first full rotation we would be left with 767, and then after the next rotation with no ultimate we would only have 212 mana left. So we're not going to get 5 rotations off, but if we're playing smart and we're using the river buffs and whatnot, and we do actually get to our 5th rotation, because we will eventually get the mana back to use that 5th rotation, the first rotation will be 3385, so that is 54 more than the Hydroverser build, and then every other rotation after that with no ultimate would be 1665, which is higher than every other rotation for the Hydroverser build, which gives us 10,045 damage over the 5 rotations, or 2009 average. Okay, so that's nearly 200 more damage per rotation, okay, over an average 5 rotations of all the abilities that we've used. It's about 200 different. Okay, so if I just quickly redo some stuff. Okay, so the other thing that we have to look at is just, let's say for example we've been pummeling all our abilities, there's been team fight going on and no one really won, everyone's still alive and you're being pushed, they have OP buff, you're holding off, okay, and you've used that many abilities that you have no mana left. You've just got your ultimate off of cooldown and you're about to tick over to the 150 mana necessary to use Gadget's ultimate, okay, and now on the other hand you have your ultimate ticking over and you're still waiting as well, but you're in max power because you're not relying on Hydroverser. Okay, now with my build, not using Hydroverser, we would be doing 1720 damage on that ultimate, which ticks over 4 seconds, okay, so that's 430 damage per second. Now on the other build, you'll be doing 1355.5 damage on the ultimate once you got it, and if you divide that by 4 for the 4 ticks, that's 338 damage. That's around 100 damage per second. Like, it's fair enough, it's only over the space of 4 seconds, but that's 100 DPS, okay, like that is humongous. If you were building a ranger deck and you had the option between 2 different cards, and one of which at certain points was going to guarantee you an extra 100 DPS, I'm pretty sure you would take it. Now I'm not making this video to tell people that they should not use Hydroverser at all. It is a very, very good card, and it's only really at its strongest when you're at your full build and you have a lot of mana, but maybe don't go off of everything that everyone says and assume that it's going to be the strongest possible build, because as you can see in the background here, it's only just barely stronger. Okay, yeah, you do have a lot more mana, but even if I was to add extra mana to my build, I could easily add another 60 in by replacing the burst engines with staff adamants. It's still not going to be that much weaker. Okay, you're going to actually be doing more damage. You'll do around about 354, and you will have an extra 60 mana. Fair enough, that's only going to take you to 1532 mana instead of 1472. But if you play smart and you use your regen well, you're going to be better off. Okay, so with a Hydroverser build, unless you're actually running mana regen on it, you're only going to have 0.3 mana per second better than what your standard build is. Whereas mine, fair enough, it only has 0.6, but it's actually regenerating on top of your standard regen. It's actually regenerating twice as much. Okay, now you could choose to change your burst engines over to something else that was going to give you more mana and lose a little bit of damage, and you would still, after your first rotation, you would still be ahead every single time. Okay, yeah, you can only use a couple of rotations, but the problem is that while your abilities are all on cooldown, you're going to be auto attacking. Now when you are using Hydroverser and you've made 5 rotations of your abilities and you're doing 208.5 power, okay, like at 150 mana left, so you got enough to do your ultimate and you're just auto attacking waiting for the right moment, you're actually doing more than a third less damage than my non-Hydroverser build. Okay, so for every single auto attack that I do, I am doing 33% more damage than you. Okay, and that adds up. Every 3 attacks that I make is like you making 4. So if the two of us were up against each other and we both had no mana, I'm going to kick your butt every single time. And yes, Hydroverser build will give you more mana because you're speccing into it, but how many times, regardless of how much mana you've got, have you ended up on no mana? So keep that in consideration when you're thinking about the build. I'm actually going to do a build guide on this and a guide for Gadget soon, because she's a disgusting caster that does some ridiculous damage. But I haven't got around to that yet. I just really wanted to get this out quickly today, just to sort of let people know. Maybe hold off, or maybe do your own math on the Hydroverser build, because it's not quite as great as you think it is. It is a lot better than what it used to be, and I've run this many times. I've run Hydroverser many times on Bellica and a lot of other people, but just think about it before you do it. You are getting more guaranteed damage out of a non-Hydroverser build. But that is it for now. We'll go into this a bit more in depth. I'm going to start doing some mana versus mana regen videos, a little bit of math here, there, and everywhere on all the stuff in the Paragon. So if you did go on to find this video helpful at all, please leave me a like down below. It helps me out quite a lot. Consider subscribing for more Paragon content. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions whatsoever. If you just want to tell me that I'm an idiot. Okay, as per usual, thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.